forces with us.
Always, huh?
That's right.
Went to see on Saturday Jesus Revolution.
Yes.
How was that?
Oh,
Cool movie. That was so good.
I want to see it.
Oh man,
see it.
yeah. I'm from the East Coast, and I was raised Frozen Chosen. So the whole what is it? What is it called? Non-denominational, but also
charismatic.
charismatic was like foreign to me, man.
Yeah.
Raised Lutheran, but then since being out here, went to charismatic and non-denominational churches. It was like, but just I went with people that one was baptized by Greg Laurie in Pirates Cove.
Wow.
And the other one, his parents were friends with Chuck Smith.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Because they were from Orange County. That's crazy. And a big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Happy Monday to everyone. That's right. It is Monday, but you can still be happy. You can. Trust me. Honest. It can happen. I know getting back to work might be a little blah, blah, but hey, it's sunny out there. The snow's melting, and it is a beautiful day here in Rim Country, so there's plenty of reasons to be happy. So get that smile on your face. And hey, if you watch today's program, it'll make you happy as well. Because talking to a couple great young gentlemen here in the studio have Daniel Newberry. He's the youth pastor at Mountain Bible Church here in Payson. And also Mick Allred. He's the youth pastor at Rim Country Rimview Community Church down in Star Valley. Sorry about that.
No problem.
It's just his like habit. When you say rim, you say country. I say rim, you say country.
We get all kinds of stuff. We get Rim Country, we get Rimview Baptist Church, we get all that stuff.
I've called it Rim Barbecue before.
Rimview Community Church.
Yeah, we're right next to Rim Barbecue, so I mean, that's an honest mistake, Daniel. I could see that. But no, Rim Community Rimview Community Church, Rimview Community Church down in Star Valley. Thank you guys for coming on this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're watching, know that you can also, or if you're listening, know that you can also watch us on our Facebook page, KRIM FM, and we are streaming live. You can say hello if you know these guys, or if you have youth that go to their programs. It'd be great to hear from you, get on, and say hi. So we're going to talk about a youth camp that I think reading the flyer, this is the first time that this is happening in Rim Country.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to get to know you guys a little bit. So Daniel, if you can start off, I guess how you found your way to Payson and also into the youth ministry.
Yeah. Well, I actually started youth ministry in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where I was born and raised. Got into youth ministry kind of originally as a stepping stone, hopefully moving into senior pastoral ministry one day, and kind of not thinking a whole lot of it. But then as I continued in youth ministry, I just fell in love with the students, and God began to really work on my heart and open up my heart to love the kids. And at this point in time, I can't really imagine doing anything else. I'm just like, there was a time when I thought, I can't stand teenagers. Sorry, guys. But now I just love them, you know?
You wouldn't be alone, Daniel. I mean, come on. Especially middle schoolers. I mean, I worked at the middle school one year.
Fun.
And bless their hearts. Oh, my gosh. They're confused. I mean, they don't know what's going on. And then, so it's hard for them. So they need a lot of love.
They do. And they're fun to love.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment.
That's right.
Oh, there we go.
So, but we moved out here to Payson about almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
My wife's family, they live in New Mexico, and we felt God calling us to be closer to them.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking for something close to them, but I was still able to do my ministry, and we checked out a few churches kind of near and around New Mexico, and this is where we landed. God put Payson on our hearts, and we came out here, met Mountain Bible Church, fell in love, and it was just a clear peace in our spirit that this is where God wanted us.
Yeah.
So we took the position about almost 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now I remember we don't attend Mountain Bible, but we were at the service where you were introduced to the congregation.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, well, why'd they hire like a 19-year-old? I mean, this guy, and knowing guys,
Yeah,
our maturity level, because I was there, I mean, I know, and you get youth pastors, and it's like, oh man, it can get crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude is young, but you're not that young, are you?
Well, I'm 26.
Yeah. No, well, you look. I think the glasses now maybe kind of they weathered you a little bit,
Sure.
the youth, but
Sure.
You're still holding up good. But when you first got here, I was like,
When I first got here, I was rocking the mustache. I was trying to
That's-
look a little older than I am. Because, that's the thing, exactly what you're saying. I felt so young, and I was like, no one's going to take me seriously. I got to have a mustache.
yeah,
But Rachel said that made people take me less seriously, so I got rid of the mustache.
yeah, and you find something you said that is very interesting to me. There's, I think, in a lot of cases, the youth ministry or serving as a youth pastor is viewed as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
It's like, where you start.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, get your feet wet, get in there, take care of these kids and, talk to them about Jesus and,
Right.
just, watch them. You got them right here. And then we'll see how you do and move up. But you said, when in doing it, you really felt like, hey, this is where I should be.
Yeah, it became a very specific calling on my heart of, this is all I want right now, is to be with these kids and showing them Christ and shepherding them towards Him. Whereas originally all I wanted to do was shepherd a church.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that my vision was to be, senior pastor one day, and I thought that was the big vision, that was too small. God really had a much grander vision of me loving on the kids, and just showing Jesus to them and shepherding them. And I mean, who knows what the future holds, but I'm loving what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm. And it definitely, as you grow in your ministry, you kind of see and you realize that not everyone is called into the different types of ministry. Yeah. It takes someone that has been given the gifts to do missionary work, sure. Or be a lead pastor, a senior pastor, a youth pastor, children's pastor, and so on. I mean, it takes like a different heart to do all of those things, and also the skills you have and what you're equipped to do. So that's cool when you kind of realize where you fit in the ministry, and you can really flourish there then.
Absolutely.
So Mick, how about you, man? How did you end up in Payson?
Well, where do I start?
From when I was a little baby.
When a man and a woman love it, no. No.
Hey, save it for the youth group, man. Come on.
So I'm from Kentucky. So born and raised there. Went to the University of Kentucky, gave my life to Jesus on the campus there.
Awesome.
So I know we probably have some Arizona Wildcats fans watching, but there's
that loss to ASU. I know, buzzer beater there. I have to say that, man.
I just have to say, live on the radio, there's only one Wildcats, both sides of the Mississippi, and that's the University of Kentucky Wildcats.
Whoa! Let me see the comments rolling in now. Let me see. Oh, we got one. You can't say that to a youth pastor. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. But man,
I will give them this. In 1997, the Arizona Wildcats beat the Kentucky Wildcats in the national championship. So
yeah, there you go. I have some memorabilia, some cool memorabilia in the kitchen. It involves the Wildcats, but I'll show it to you after the program.
Yeah, so anyway, if you get me off track on sports, I'll talk all day. But so born and raised in Kentucky, I actually met my wife Kristen. She was a missionary in the Dominican Republic. I met her online. I wasn't actually interested in keeping in touch really, but she convinced me to do so, and I really enjoyed talking to her. And then we met face to face, got married. And so her dad happens to be the pastor of Rimview Community Church. So I after I got saved, I was involved in campus ministry, and then I went to restaurant business and stuff. So he was Pastor Dave Barber. He asked me if I had ever thought about doing youth ministry. So I was a I saw myself as like a campus pastor, and I was like, no, I'm not too interested in that. But then it became clear that God was calling me to do that. So I asked him. I said, hey, are you being serious about this, or just making conversation? And he said, no, I'm serious. Let's talk this week. So we talked, prayed about it, and then that was I think. Let's see here. That was around Christmas time of 2016, and then we were out here March 1st of 2017. So
wow.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been here a little bit. It'll be going on 6 years.
Yeah.
Next month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Has that gone pretty quick for you?
Very fast. Yeah. Yeah. So when we moved here, we had a 5-month-old son named Shay, and Shay's 6 now, and then his little sister Annie is 5 now, so it's gone by very quick. Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. So, both of you guys are involved in the weekend.
Yes.
The weekend, a youth camp that is being hosted up here. Is it in Payson?
It is. Yeah, it's all taking place in Payson. It's a collaborative work between nearly every youth group in town.
Wow.
Originally, what the idea was, Mick came to me and asked me if I wanted to do a Disciple Now weekend between our two churches. And as the conversation kept going, we got more and more excited about it. And I don't remember how we finally got to the decision, but we thought, let's talk with the other youth groups in town and invite them to be a part of this. And so we've gotten nearly every youth group in town involved.
Maybe minus 1 or 2.
Maybe minus 1 or 2,
I
yeah.
don't have contact info for.
Right, yeah. But we've gotten the large majority of youth groups in town to be involved in putting this weekend camp on. And the idea is, how can we create the typical church camp experience for kids who maybe have never had a chance to go to church camp, who have maybe been, felt like church camp wasn't for them, they've never gone to church before, so going to camp was a little difficult for them or just intimidating. And bring the camp to them and then make it extremely affordable for them as well. Because church camps are usually very expensive.
Yeah, and that's where the fundraisers, we were talking a little bit before the program, and a recent fundraiser you did, Mick, down at Rimview Community Church for your youth group.
Yes, sir.
And that's how you really kind of raise money to help offset the costs of a lot of the church camps, isn't it?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So this camp, though, from what I'm hearing, it's more for the youth and the kids in the community that have never been to camp,
Right.
that haven't had that experience. So is it a case where your kids in your youth group that have been to camps, are they out there, recruiting or telling kids about this, trying to get them to...
That's the idea. That's what we've asked them to do. We've handed out tons of these flyers and said, hey, tell all your friends, get them, bring a friend. We want our kids to be coming to this camp. That's not like we're excluding them at all. We want our kids to be a part of this, but we're also saying this is a great opportunity for you to be able to invite a friend to camp and get them into church without it being an intimidating factor, or like a church is not my thing, kind of concerned about that. That doesn't have to play in. What's amazing actually is that we were able to keep the camp costs pretty low, but another donor has actually stepped in and said, hey, I want to cover the cost of every student who comes to this camp that does not go to church anywhere in town. So now it's a thing where our kids, of course, they have to pay to come, but if they bring friends who don't go to church anywhere, their friends all get to come for free. It's and that alone has just pumped me up and gotten me excited, as well as the other youth pastors, about like maybe we can actually get some kids and show them, hey, church is a place that you can belong to as well. This is not just for those who have always gone to church. This is not just for those who are put together or perfect or look a certain way. This is for all of you. This is for everyone. The point of this camp is to address some serious issues that we think are going on in this town, but also to show, hey, you can come to church too. And
there are flyers, like you said, little like postcard size flyers that are around town. And I thought this is good because on the back, for our first camp, we'll be addressing mental health issues, what the Bible says about anxiety, to depression, suicide. So I mean, those are all real issues that our young people
Yeah.
are dealing with, that they face. And I think these days, with everything going on, with social media, with COVID, with, oh my gosh, just everything, probably even more so than when I was young or when you guys were young, just kind of the pressures that are out there. So it's great to be, you know, among people, and that it's a safe place where you can talk about this and they can share. They can share, you know, their fears and challenges and struggles, and have pastors like yourself and other youth pastors and other people there that can listen to them, pray with them, be there for them, and really support and encourage them.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of addressing mental health issues was actually Mick's idea. We were talking about, okay, how do we, like, what should we talk about? Do we just give the gospel straightforward, or what? And Mick said, I really feel like we should probably address maybe anxiety and depression. And I'll let you elaborate on why that is. But.
Well, I don't think that was all my idea. You had a lot to do. Well, the thing about it is it's kind of taboo and maybe not our culture here in Rim Country, but in church culture it is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. It's no big deal if you're a Christian and you have a pediatrician. It's no big deal if you have a family doctor. But all of a sudden, it becomes a big deal if you are a Christian and you have a therapist. Well, why do you need that? And so, I think we're doing the kids a great disservice if we do not say anything about that, because the battlefield of the Christian mind the Christian life is in the mind. And if we don't talk about how the gospel pertains to every part of you, not just your soul. Jesus didn't just redeem your soul; He redeemed all of you, and your mind's part of that. So, the gospel, the Bible, addresses all kinds of issues: depression, anxiety. You know, the fact that you were made in the image of God, and that He values your life. That even if if someone made you feel like you're not worth anything, you were made in the image of God, and God values your life. So, I think it's important that we touch on those things, because when you think about it, that is the main issue. At least from what I see, that's the main issue that the kids are struggling with right now. And so, if we don't touch on that, how are we really helping? So
it's addressing the whole person, whether you're a child, a youth, an adult, mind, body, and spirit. They all are together, and right. They're all, there's things that we need to look at and not ignore. Because when your body's not well, it can affect your spirit, because of struggling, or your mind, like you said, oh my gosh, what goes on in our minds, and just all of our thoughts and self-talk and everything. And if we just ignore that, and it can be bad.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and and I don't know if you guys, something that I was going to share on our KRIM Facebook page. I didn't, but I was talking to someone up here, a friend, and it happened to their child. But with social media, people getting on accounts and luring them into doing something, taking photos. They send them photos, and they pretend to be a young girl or whatever. And this is mainly, I've only heard with guys. And they send pictures, and hey, send me pictures, come on, and I'll send you more, and this and that. They get them to send them pictures, and then all of a sudden, and then they try and blackmail them and say, hey, if you don't give us money, if you don't send us money, we're going to tell your parents, we're going to, ruin your life, and it'll be so bad. And this one young man that I was going to share the story of, he was a high schooler and football player, and ended up killing himself because he was so burdened by it and felt so ashamed. And here it's some scammer out of another country just looking to get some money. And a young man takes his life, and that not to that extent, but it happened here. A friend of mine here, where his son was like mortified. He's crying and just came to him, and thankfully he did come to him.
That's good.
But if you don't have, maybe the parents at home that you feel you can share that with, or if, like you mentioned, where you feel like, and that's where it's unfortunate with church, how it can be a case where people, put on the fronts and, I look, everything's good, and God, praise God, and, He's taking care of us, it's all good, and the struggles and the problems that all of us are going through kind of don't get, shared or dealt with, or they just get suppressed, pushed down, swept under the rug, whatever, but it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And also, it's when God can deliver us from those things and can, help us overcome those struggles, that we have testimonies we can share with others, and that's a big part of Christianity is testimony.
Absolutely.
So,
and Mick and I are just excited to be able to share our own issues with in these areas. It's like we've all struggled with these deeper issues, right? And like you're saying, like kids are struggling with these deeper issues, and we want them to have a space where they can open up about these deeper issues, because like you just said, if we don't give them the opportunity to open up about these deeper issues, and we don't show them that there is freedom in this, that there is hope from all of this, then they'll bottle it up and they'll become bogged down by it, and you spiral into this hopeless scenario where you know nothing but these issues of anxiety and depression, and ultimately these things can lead to suicide. And there are so many things that obviously need to be so many factors that need to go into helping people with those things, but ultimately we just want to say there is hope from all of that, that Christ is hope.
Something that I think is extremely important, at least it was for me, is especially maybe hearing from us, because we're going to share our testimonies as well concerning this, but when you hear about what's normal or what other people go through, it's empowering to know, like, I'm not the only one, because when you do struggle with depression or anxiety, that's what it tends to feel like. Everybody else is living a normal life, and I'm the only one who's crazy here. It does help.
And unfortunately, there's times where you can feel like, or it can be told to you, or again, you just feel this way that, your faith, isn't sufficient, or I guess I'm just not close enough to God, or doing what I need to do, and that's so far, that's not it. It's and knowing that, because then that's even more, how you just feel bad about yourself, and guilt and shame, and
you struggle with depression, and you hear all these Christians talk about the joy of the Lord, and you're like, I don't understand what that is. Is there something wrong with me? Am I not really a Christian? And it's like, no, you can still have the hope and just have something blocking that hope, like that. Let's work through that, and like Mick said, just normalizing that.
Well, no, and it's great. And then young people knowing that there's people they can talk to, that they can share with. If they don't have a youth pastor, or they're not part of a youth group, it's something to look at. And hey, some of my friends are coming, and I want to be a part of this, to where people can just if I want to share something, they can listen, and it'd be a safe place. So the weekend, let me see, March 17th through the 19th. So that's coming up quick.
That's St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day weekend. Hey, there you go.
Yes.
And so March 17th through the 19th, and where will it be again? Where is it?
So everything's going to be happening at Mountain Bible Church. So, and that's simply just because we have a space for it. That's the only reason that was chosen. But Friday night, that 17th, kids will show up to sign in there. And then at the end of every day, so the end of Friday night, the end of Saturday night, kids are going to go to their youth pastor that they signed up through, and their youth pastor will get them back to wherever it is they're having their lodging. So each youth group is figuring out lodging on their own.
Gotcha.
I know that you guys plan on staying at the church or something like that.
Yeah, we're staying at the church, but also given the option if parents want to pick up the kids and
Sure.
bring them back the next morning, they can do that as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of my kids are staying at Mountain Bible. Some parents have opened up their homes as host homes for the kids, and so really it's just, as far as lodging and everything goes, that's up to the church you sign up through.
Gotcha.
But as far as actual the event happens, it's happening at Mountain Bible Church. Yeah.
There we go. Again, it is the weekend youth camp right here in Payson, and this is almost all. You said almost all. There's just maybe one or two churches. Their youth groups aren't participating, but basically all of the youth groups in Payson in Rim Country participating. And the cost $35. But again, you said if there's you have children or you know of somebody that cannot pay for that,
Yes.
that can be paid for.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, each church is kind of figuring out as far as scholarshiping and subsidizing cost goes. But if a student doesn't go to church anywhere, they're not a regular attender at a church, they just get to come for free entirely.
Nice.
There's no questions asked.
Oh, that is great. And I'm going to hold up, so for those of you watching on our KRIM FM Facebook page, there's a QR code, and that's probably the easiest way, or is that the only way to sign up?
No, that's not the only way, but that will take you to the Instagram page describing what the weekend is. And on that Instagram page, there is a link for you to sign up for kids who can go for free. And then anyone else who wants to get signed up, if you're going to a church, just talk to your youth pastor about it. I mean, you can talk to Mick, you can talk to me, you can talk to Joseph over at Ponderosa, the guys over at Church for the Nations, Fusion, Expedition, yeah.
Gotcha. I saw, who was it? Oh, I forget who it was, but somebody from Calvary watching.
Oh, cool.
Calvary participating, or are they?
Where did they? Did you talk to them? We were in talks with them.
I provided them with an outline of
Gotcha.
what we're going to be talking about, and I haven't really heard anything past that. But,
Gotcha. I'll reach out to them as Sarah. That's who it was. Sarah was watching, so maybe she'll say, "Hey, wait a second."
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, ask your youth pastor, ask your church about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, oh, that is good. Well, anything else you would like to share? Then the weekend happening March 17th through the 19th. Again,
Yes.
St. Patrick's Day weekend coming up, and a great camp experience. Again, though, talking about I want to say issues that probably a lot of us, everyone, face at one time or another.
Absolutely.
Mental health and just anxiety,
Yeah.
depression. How you maybe feel about yourself, pressure just that you're feeling from life.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the overarching hopes and goals of this whole camp is to say, hey, you know what? We're separate youth groups in town, but there's no competition here. I think that, like, I've talked with students who at one point in time they were going to my youth group, and now they're going to another youth group, and I'll see them out and about, and I'll say, hey, how you doing? And they'll say, oh, I'm going to a different youth group now, and I'm like, hey, that's cool. Like, what youth group are you going to? They'll tell me. I say, I know the youth pastor there. He's a great guy. Really glad you're there. I'm just glad you're somewhere where
especially
you're.
if it's Rimview Community.
Well, yeah, especially if it's Rimview.
Just kidding.
That guy's a Kentucky Wildcat fan.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not sure about
Stay away from that one.
But,
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
So a commonly asked question that I get is, are you going to be talking about counseling or medicine or something like
question.
that? And so just want to let you know, both Daniel and I have been on medicine at times, off medicine at times, in counseling and without counseling. We're basically taking a neutral stance on that. We're just dealing with what does the Bible say about these issues.
That's right.
If anybody has any questions, we can share our experiences, but we are not professional counselors.
That's
We're
right.
not professional therapists, and those decisions need to be made within the family or pray about them. But we are not going to be taking a stance on those issues.
Really glad you pointed out. We do not want to have any influence over whether a kid takes their medicine or not, or whether a kid goes and sees a counselor. We just want to share the hope of Christ on top of all of that. And so I love that you said that, neutral stance. That's
Yeah.
good.
There we go.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Amen. Bobby Lowry watching, sending some gold stars. Say thank you, Bobby.
Right.
And boy, there we go. Well, if you guys have any questions, how about ways to get in touch with you guys? If people have questions, phone number,
That's
or
great.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, you can email me at daniel@mountainbible.org,
Okay.
or you can just call the church office and get a hold of me. You can check out the youth Instagram page, mountain.bible.youth.
Mhm.
All sorts of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, to get a hold of me, if you go to rimviewcommunitychurch.org, my number's on that website. You can call me. My email address, I think it's on there, but if not, it's allredmichaelr@gmail.com. So,
There we go.
Yeah.
Again, Michael Allred, youth pastor from Rimview Community Church in Star Valley, and Daniel Newberry, youth pastor at Mountain Bible Church here in Payson. Thank you guys for coming on this
Yeah,
morning
thanks for
and
having us.
sharing.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you everyone for watching and for listening. And again, if you see flyers, little postcard flyers around town, movie theater, bowling alley, some other places, and there's a young person that family member or just somebody you want to hand some out,
Yeah.
get them around to the youth in town. Hey, that would be great.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. And time to get back to the music with some Guess Who, The Calling, Talking Heads, Supertramp, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
KRIM weather forecast for Payson and surrounding areas.
There we go.
Yes, Jim.
All right. See you guys on Facebook.